What's going on, everybody? Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the day. They done did it for the second week in a row. Remember last week? They done
Right.
did it for the second week in a row, man. What I was about to say, what was going on? Like y'all acting a little funny later. But hey, anyway, listen. This your boy Shani and Stu. We back yet another episode of the Rockin' Chair Chronicles podcast where you got me from the great Generation X, my bro Stu from Generation. What is it? No, the Millennial. Yeah, they
Millennials.
they don't even get. They didn't even give them
Millennial.
a generation or something. They just call them. They just call them
Millennial.
millennials. Boy.
I
Like
think that
it's
sound cooler though.
well, I don't know about
Millennial.
that. That's subject to debate. But anyway, we bite for another episode of the Rockin' Chair Chronicles. Well, we invite you to pull up your rocking chair, hang with us, chop it up with us on these topics that we talking about, man. You know, we talk about all kinds of things, man. And in the midst of this particular episode, we just hope that we don't get abducted by aliens, because
Oh yeah,
apparently,
yeah. You talking about the government releasing
boy, apparently
the
we got some aliens.
alien info,
I don't know what might be
classified
going on.
information.
Boy, that boy Alf might come down or something. Boy, that boy Howard the Duck might come
Right.
down. You know, all them boys, they
Mm-hmm.
boys might be real up there. I don't know, man. You know, we'll see. We'll see what's in them things anyway. But we back here to talk about something that we decided to split into two parts, y'all. So this is part one, okay? And we're gonna be talking about government assistance, government
Mm-hmm.
benefits, the truth about them. Like what's like when did they start? Like, what is it all about? Like, how should we think about this as thinking people? Because we like to think, we like to just sit in our rocking chairs with our drink and think and talk about these things. Like, how should we feel about these benefits? When did they come in? All of the above, et cetera, et cetera. Tomato, tomato. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be discussing on this part one of the episode. Now, next week we're gonna get a little bit more nuance. We go talk about the war on poverty. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the war on poverty, and it sounds real good, doesn't it? That sounds good, right? Like, yeah, it should be a war on poverty, right? I mean, yeah, it should. Yeah,
Sound noble.
yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah.
noble cause. Yeah, I like that word. That sounds noble.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something real noble. But we're gonna really get down into, like the people like to say, the nuts and bolts of it. So we're gonna be talking about the war on poverty, and specifically the impact that it had on families in the country at the time. That is really being shown to have a tremendous impact negatively, even to the day. And I don't know, man. It don't look like it's an end in sight, with that stuff. But
Right.
let's go have to wait till next week. Y'all calm down and relax. We gonna get to it. We gonna talk about that next week. So let's jump into it, man. Without further ado, let's talk about this government assistance. Now, at one point in time in this country, there was no such thing as any kind of government assistance. So
Mm-hmm.
the question naturally would be like, well, when did it start, or what was going on at the time? Um, to make it occur. So just to go back a little bit, so I don't know if anybody's still alive around this time period. If it is somebody still alive from the 20s, boy, look here.
They old man.
Man, let me see. They'll be almost well,
In
you
the
couldn't
20s,
just be
depending on where you were.
born. Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
just be born in the 20s. Like you had to be like a of
Right.
age.
You had
You
to,
see what I'm
right. Right.
saying?
You had to know what's going
So
on.
you
Yeah.
you probably had to
You
be
probably
born in
out
the
of here.
1800s. Boy,
Yeah.
yeah, them boys out of here, man.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 20s, it was known as the Roaring Twenties. That was an interesting time period when I looked at that. The Roaring Twenties. It was a very successful era time in this country, coming right off of World War I, and it was just all kinds of economic prosperities. They even had like advancements in technology. I think the radio, like the first edition, I guess I could say, of the radio came out, or maybe it was the telephone. I forgot. And they had all kinds of things going on in the country. The
Mm-hmm.
fashion was popping, but they was doing their thing in the roaring 20s, boy. Nobody really was lacking for anything. It was good. So something happened though. Something happened right off of the heels of those 20s. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
put a plug in. I'm sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta put a plug in for my boy. I gotta put a plug in for my boy from back in them days, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I mentioned this to you, but the
Okay.
president back in them time, you know who it was?
Who?
I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know how I got sometimes I got I like when you be making them expressions like who. You be sounding like an
Yeah,
owl, boy.
yeah, I don't know.
Boy be sounding
Yeah.
like an owl, boy say
Who?
who. That boy say you ask me a
Uh-huh.
question, boy say
Who?
who.
Right.
Yeah, exactly what it is. Boy, we need to make a
Uh-huh.
shirt. The shirt go say
Who?
who.
Put my
With
face on it.
the face going like that
Uh-huh.
who. Exactly like that. But look, the man who I think pound for pound was the greatest president the country has seen, boy.
Mm-hmm. Who is that?
Silent Cal.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man.
That was his nickname.
Oh, okay. What's his real
Silent
name?
Cal, Calvin Coolidge, boy.
What's his real name?
Oh, Calvin Coolidge.
I promise I don't know who that is, man. Hey, I don't know
I
what
probably
they
need to go and
did.
edit this part out. It's like,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I do not know who that is. I'm be real.
Calvin Coolidge, boy.
That sound like a cool name, man. Sound
That
like he a
man
cool
Calvin
president,
Coolidge,
though.
boy.
Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah. You want to know why I like them, though?
Right. Why you like that?
He ain't mess with nothing. He ain't really do a lot. You pick that up right there.
Right. If stuff
He didn't
working,
really do a
if
lot.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
He didn't really do a
Yeah.
lot, man.
Mhm.
He was about small government,
Okay. I
truly,
can rock with that. Yeah.
truly,
hmm
and he was about, limiting anything else that was going on around. Like, hey, look, man, I'm not trying to get into all this. See, I ain't trying to get all into your life. You
Right.
know, look, y'all responsible adults. Y'all do y'all thing. Y'all best know how to take care of yourself.
Sound kind of libertarian to me.
Yeah, that boy
So that's
Coolidge, boy.
sound cool.
Silent Cal. He went, and then they
Mhm.
gave him the name Silent Cal because, like, he really wasn't a man of many words. So he was a lot like you, I guess.
Mhm.
The man ain't really saying
Hey,
like, he ain't just
cool. Hey, them best guys, I guess, to run the
yeah,
country.
yeah.
Y'all vote for me, man.
Vote for Stu, man. 2028. Well, I think you got to be in an age limit 35.
Really? It
I
is?
think so.
Oh, well, yeah, I
There
can't
you
do
go
that.
again. Don't be knowing, boy.
I don't know, man. I got 5 more years, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's
So,
a yeah. So you got to go in 2032 or something like that. So you do know the election is every 4 years, right?
right.
Okay,
And I know
I just checked.
that.
I'm about to get a little bit nervous there, boy. I'm like, man.
That's good.
So you learn about Calvin Coolidge today, and elections are
Right.
every 4 years.
No,
Well,
I
he
knew
knew
that.
he
I
knew
knew
that.
that. I
I'm
knew
just
that.
playing, I'm just playing. But anyway, back to the top before y'all got our sidetracked.
Mhm.
So Coolidge was the president this time. The 20s was popping, boy, was jumping, man. Everybody was doing good. There wasn't nobody really hurting for nothing. They was doing their thing back in the
Mhm.
roaring 20s, boy. But then something happened.
Mhm.
And this is like kind of the the one knock that people do have on Coolidge is that maybe he didn't have the foresight that he should have had to see,
Mhm.
because a great leader has to see things down the
Right.
road.
See, right. He was probably chilling, like, hey, man, like,
Boy was
everything
silent,
is
doing his
right now.
thing. Yeah.
And then, boom, stuff came up.
Got
Yeah.
captured by the moment. It didn't kind of
Right.
see, what was happening or what could be on the horizon.
Right.
Because it's like you
Uh-huh.
say, it's like we say, if something's going good for so long, I get the chances
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that at some point something is gonna stop.
Right.
Like it's just not gonna be sustainable. Like we talked about that too. Like it's not just
Mhm.
gonna be sustainable.
Right.
Especially not in a country like ours. Like it's just not gonna be.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of different things going
Yeah,
on.
it's too many
Factored in that
different
changes
factors. Yeah,
things. So you have
yeah,
to take a different approach.
yeah. So a good leader should have this foresight. Not saying that they always go see things, but they should at least be like, man, hold on. I don't
Mhm.
know, like this right here going on like this, or this going that there. Like, what about if this goes like this? Like, how can I be proactive here, or if I don't want to just tinker with something, I need to have that in the back of my mind. Like, if I start seeing
Yeah.
signs, somebody, kind of do that.
Right. Yeah.
But something happened in 1929.
Mhm.
The Great Depression came in. So after this period of sustained success in the
Mhm.
country, when them 20s was roaring, something happened in 1929 that you all know as the Black Thursday, when the stock market completely just crashed and cratered.
Mhm.
It was more than one Black Day, but Black Thursday is the one that people kind of have, I guess, more familiarity with. So stock market crashed. People started panic selling
Mm-hmm.
all at one time. So, Stu, I know you kind of dabble in that world a little bit. So, to somebody
Mm-hmm.
who is uninitiated or outside looking
Mm-hmm.
in, like, why is why is what happened? I promise this is gonna make sense as we get into this episode. Why we bring
Right.
this up? Like, why is that a
Uh-huh.
big deal? If okay, everybody just decided to
For
sell, like,
sure.
so
Yeah.
what?
So yeah, that could definitely you have a lot of selling in the stock market, man, and things are crashing. You can have that's a catalyst for triggers economic downfall. So in that case, we're talking about the Great Depression. So when people are selling like that, and from what I've seen during this time in the 1920s, you had that sale, what it was, Black Thursday and Black
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a speculative type of atmosphere. The investors felt like this is not sustainable. So you're gonna see selling, and a lot of people during that time they were buying on margin, so that's borrowed funds. A lot of people get margin calls when you're selling because you owe because you're borrowing the funds from the broker or whatnot. So that caused massive selling during the time you have interest rates. The government are rise, creating higher interest rates, so it's harder to borrow money. So it's not as much money flowing in the market or whatnot. So that's more selling and whatever. You don't have those funds flowing through and then stalling the economy, things of that nature. So that's going to lead to just an economic downturn. So
Mm-hmm.
that's sets up the stage for that.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
and so when things created like that, and I also learned that there was a lot of wealthy people who tried to save the crash
Oh
by
yeah, bailouts and
pouring it.
everything.
Yeah, they was
Oh
trying
yeah, oh
to
yeah, oh
use their
yeah.
money. They were like putting millions and stuff into it. Like I'm talking about,
Uh
I read how them boys was they were catching rides up the Wall Street trying to go down there. And hey, hold on, wait a minute. They was putting millions into it, and
right. That's how the government do
it was
now,
so
man.
hard. Yeah.
They bail out the industry here, man. Get this money, boo.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. So that's what occurred. So you coming off that period of economic prosperity, things was booming, things were
yeah,
popping, the economy was doing good, things were being new technology was being implemented, all these things was going on, and then the I guess you could say, to use an analogy, like the bubble just burst, like
right, yeah. Damn burst, man.
hmm things got so high that just woo, just kind of cratered out with that.
Right.
People started panicking and thinking things was just going crash and burn. They wanted to cash out early, I guess, and then
Right.
that kind of just started the a cycle of where you went
Set the
into a
stage.
period. Yep, of a Great
Companies
Depression.
failing, so people selling, companies failing, and yeah.
Yep. So then you enter into the Great Depression when you come
Mm-hmm.
off of that period of prosperity. So unemployment rates anywhere that I've saw from in that period where you because like he said, you had that trickle down effect. So if people are mass selling and companies aren't producing it, if companies are
Mm-hmm.
producing and they don't need the workers and the workers are getting fired and all think about that happening to multiple hundreds
Mm-hmm.
and thousands of companies around the world. People are being laid off at alarming rates,
Mm-hmm.
companies having to go out of business because they not producing anything because nobody's buying, everybody's scared. So unemployment rates, I think I saw. We just talked about. I forgot. I think it was 25% to
Yeah, he said
thirty-three
25.
percent,
Uh-huh.
somewhere
That's a
around
good
that
number.
range at the max. Yeah, 33. Yeah, because I don't even know what it is now, but I know it's relatively low.
Right.
Compared to that, it might be like 8 times then what it is now. So, um, you think about the amount of people that's laid off, no longer to support families. You got a really bad period now. You went from that period of prosperity to that period of where
Mm-hmm.
you have all of this going on with this mass unemployment. So now that's happened. What's going to happen with all these people who aren't able to get jobs,
Mm-hmm.
not able to work, not able to eat?
Right.
You know, I mean, it was just a bad time period. People having to beg for food, people having to wait to get food assistance and from people or whatever it is. It was just a period where you didn't want to be in. And a lot of things started
Mm-hmm.
happening underground. You had your depression era gangsters who were doing their thing underground and making money illegally. And I think in a lot of ways they were just products of the time. They got it how they live. as some people say. And I'm not saying that's right, but that's just what was
Mhm.
occurring. And so what happens? So off of the hills of Coolidge, and that depression comes right after that. Then you have FDR gets elected. FDR
Mhm.
comes into power with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I think it's Delano Roosevelt. Yeah, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Mhm.
And so he comes in and signs into legislation the New Deal, which is a series of
And
benefits.
that includes what, Social Security and all of that, right?
Yep, a series of government benefits and programs designed to assist people
Mhm.
who were in the time period that they were in, coming off that depression period, to help and lift people up out of poverty and out of economic ruin.
Mhm.
So you had the Social Security Act. You just said the Social Security Act, which created the national pension system, unemployment insurance, aid for people who are disabled. And he has some other programs too, Securities and Exchange Commission, Federal Housing Administration, which provided mortgage insurance to encourage housing construction for people. So you had a lot of government benefits and assistance that were brought into existence when he
Mhm.
signed that New Deal legislation into law. So that was essentially the beginning of the period or the era of government assistance or benefits being a real thing. All right. And
Yeah.
then which and this what I'm getting ready to say is probably more so for part two. And then you had in the 60s when Lyndon B. Johnson was in power, his Great Society, which was a whole other slew of government benefits, was signed into law. And it was kind of piggybacking off of what was signed into law with Franklin Delano Roosevelt
Mhm.
in his New Deal. We'll talk more about that war on poverty next week. So y'all really need to put on your calendar next week, God willing, war on poverty, boy. And I'm telling you, I got real beef with that. I got real beef with the war on poverty, boy. I'm telling
Right.
you, I'm gonna be hot. I'm mad. Like I don't like it, boy. Real beef with the war on poverty. We'll talk more about that
Right.
next
Lyndon B.
week.
Johnson, your ancestors, we coming for you.
Lyndon
I'm
B.
just playing.
Johnson, boy, we got beef. Boy, I hope he ain't hearing this.
No,
Nah,
his
on that. I
ancestors.
don't think he
His
hearing it. Yeah,
ancestors, man. I mean, not ancestors. His offspring. We coming for you.
yeah, boy. We got some words for that boy there. And so, that again, that was in the 30s. I think it was 1935, 33 to 35. And so now we have the era of government assistance being a real thing, government benefits being something that's real. And of course, over the time period, that
Hmm.
that looks a little bit different as it begins to flesh itself out over the time period.
Right. Because at first it was temporary relief, right?
Yeah, some of those
Yeah.
things were designed to be temporary, but when it gets signed into law,
Then it's permanent.
yeah, then you have to. It's permanent as far as so much what is signed saying, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So hey, if they sign something in and say this expires or whatever it is,
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of like I think what like the Trump tax cuts. What was that? 2016.
Yeah, I believe
That
so.
first term of
2016. Yeah.
his, like it had
Yeah.
an expiration.
Hmm.
And but then with the one big beautiful bill that he just did, this administration, it
Hmm.
extended those tax cuts.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you had all these different programs that come in. And now we're here, 2026. Like a lot of these things are still going on. We definitely in the era of government assistance, right? So what does it look like now in our time period? And so again, some of the things that we're going to talk about kind of bleed over a little bit into next week. Next week will be
Hmm.
a little bit more nuanced, but I was wondering like how many people presently are on assistance.
Hmm.
Like I don't know if it's like an exact number because you when you're dealing with millions upon millions of people.
Right. Yeah. I know it's millions of people on those government assistance, So
Yeah.
those are a lot of millions. how many people in America? 350 million
like
plus,
350, 360, yeah, somewhere around there, maybe 370. Yeah,
probably tens of millions.
yeah, I've seen
So,
a number that's over 40 million,
mhm.
but that's just who receives SNAP benefits.
Oh man, yeah, some type of government
Yeah,
assistance.
like food
Period.
benefits, like
Yeah.
over 40 million who receive SNAP benefits. And then, of course, you got things like Medicaid that came up a little bit later, like 80 million people over that. That's like the
Right.
largest public health program. And then you got over or about 6 million families getting housing assistance through programs like Section 8.
Uh-huh.
So, and then of course, you got the unemployment benefits, which fluctuates according to the unemployment rate and how many people are actually unemployed at a time. So you got to
Hmm.
figure like if something like a scamdemic happens, like the Rona
Like,
back in
okay,
2020,
we can't say
I ain't
Ovid,
taking no chance.
Ovid.
That's why I
Okay,
just said Rona.
okay,
So
I
you
got you.
just said can't say it, then
I
you
said
said it.
Ovid, Ovid.
Man,
That's not the real
that
thing.
thing gonna fill in the sea for
Ah,
us,
okay.
man. You know that thing gonna fill the sea in. It gonna say flagged. We know what you was trying to say. That thing trying to get smart, man.
All right, we got the AI. My
I feel
fault.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anytime some kind of like scamdemic or major catastrophe happens, then some kind of government benefit is gonna be involved with it. So you can expect that number, like the unemployment number, is gonna go up and down, probably more so than any other number as far as how
Mm-hmm.
many people are using the assistance. So there are different types, and again, like I said, you'll hear some of this next week as we talk about specifically the war on poverty, because a lot of these things we talk about were actually instituted in Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society legislation that he signed into law in the 60s. So a lot of these things we're talking about wasn't from the New Deal, but they're a part of the Great Society. But just for the purpose of our topic, like with the history and things, so like with the SNAP benefits, or people may know them as food stamp benefits, it's for low income individuals and families based on income, household size,
Mm-hmm.
expenses, and the benefits are loaded onto an EBT card and can be used for groceries. So I think most of us probably know, about that one. That's probably like the most well known one,
Yeah.
other than like unemployment benefits. And then we mentioned earlier Medicaid, which is based on income, disability, age, and family status for health coverage. And for those who qualify for it, then you got the housing assistance for programs like Section 8 and things like that. Project Housing, too.
Mm-hmm.
That came in with Lyndon B. Johnson, too.
Okay.
That's when you saw like the institution of that. And then unemployment benefits, as we mentioned before, which people through no fault of their own can apply. Benefits are temporary and based on previous earnings. But the federal government funds the benefits, but it's up to the state to distribute them. So different states have different periods or different lengths of time where you can be on unemployment. I think like for the state of
Mm-hmm.
Florida, the max is we just saw it, 12 to 20,
12, yeah, 12,
12 to 20 weeks. I think the
12, yeah.
max is 26 weeks during any unemployment event. I think it goes by events too. So the federal government funds the
Right,
states and they distribute.
right. And then I guess once you hit the 12 weeks, since we're in Florida, you hit the 12 weeks, you can't just reapply for it. You have to get a job, right? Then get fired again. Then you can
It's a new event. I think is
right,
how
right,
it
right,
goes.
right.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So
yeah,
that's
it's a
how it
new event.
works.
Yeah, yeah,
It's good to be like that, kind of, instead of being nilly willy and
yeah,
give it. Hey, I need some help, and you give it to them.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's supposed to be
uh,
safeguards in place. Like, hey, you got to show proof that you are actively looking for employment.
right, and that makes
Yeah,
sense. That's logical.
yeah.
So,
You got to prove it. And then you got to qualify for other ways. Depending on who's in your home, like what's going on. We'll talk more about that next week. Like who was in a home, who was not in a home, status of
hmm
the children, whatever else your family status,
hmm
income status, things, have to be valid or
hmm
proven. Now, say that in that way just to know, how things go. It's ways to get around things,
right.
So I don't really think I need to say more on that, huh? So it's ways to get around things. So prior to the New Deal with Franklin Roosevelt, there really was no such thing as any type of government assistance. It was just not a reality, and things was going well. And I guess it makes sense when things are going in such a great pace. Things are going well. Economy is booming. People are working. People are earning. People are living. Like, what does the government need to get involved for
Right.
and do things? So, I guess the natural question that comes up, Stu, is, and I want to hear your take on this. What are the arguments for all of this assistance that the government provides? What would you say for some of the
Mm,
arguments?
some of the arguments,
That is a good thing, I should say, I guess. Like,
right, yeah. I mean, it's something. Like I say, it could be a safety net for people when you do fall on hard times. Um, you know, I don't see nothing wrong with helping people temporarily. If they you go through hard times. Sometimes the country does go through some hard times, and you just need to get back on your feet. But it shouldn't. I don't want to get too far into what I believe in, though. But but
why?
it shouldn't be a permanent thing. You should all
Mm-hmm.
every. I feel like every person should strive to be self reliant in some shape or form. So that should be your goal, to be, hey, self reliant. I don't need people to come in and help me live day to day. I can do that all on my own instead of you know uh, depending solely on the government throughout your whole life. So, but people, like I say, everyone goes through hard times, and you know um, just to have that help there in the country that we're in now. I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So um, yeah,
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, yeah, it's not such a, I don't think it's as easy of a discussion as a lot of people might want to make it,
yeah,
because a lot of people, you got hard line people who's like, no, it's just, no, you pick you up by
right.
your
Do it
own
on your own. Yeah,
bootstraps and
right, right,
da da da. Then you
right,
got other people who, which we'll get to, I guess, abuse the benefits.
right. And my rebuttal to that is the only reason, like, man, look, sometimes, like, all these podcasts we've been doing, sometimes the government do not, they don't have your best interest in mind. So you'll come across hard times.
Facts.
It's nothing wrong with helping someone. Just like you will help, I will help my family member, especially if I know, not especially, only if I know they work hard, they try to do, they're trying to be self reliant. They do everything within their power to make sure that they, get everything done. They can live day to day. They can help their family. If they have a family, live and eat, things of that nature. But when what we've been learning about the government, how things work in this world, I don't see anything wrong with temporarily helping someone like that. And you have selfish people, in high places with a lot of power that can abuse things and make it tough on the people.
Hmm.
So the people that's actually trying to do something on their own. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with. I don't go that far. That's crazy.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, no, I got you. It's definitely a safety net for people who are legitimately in need, especially with those, with the families that they have to take care of, children and
Right.
elderly.
Yeah.
Like, due to, like, I mean, you can't look. We're currently in a situation that we're in, right? Unfortunately, you have a lot of single mother homes,
Yeah.
some single father homes, especially these days. Shoot, some of these women be bucking and leaving people going out there because they
Hold
for
on.
the
Hold on.
streets, boy.
Hold on.
They,
What? Hold on. Hold on.
yeah,
I gotta. Yeah, man.
shit, you know what I'm
They be
saying?
acting like it don't
I
happen on the
got you,
other
fellas.
side, man.
I
They
got you.
try to
Don't
act like
think.
it don't happen on the other side. Okay.
Yeah, I got you, fellas. Yeah, definitely some women who they be for the streets. They gone, boy, and that
Mm-hmm.
dad with the kids, and like, just think about how when the family, the right order of the family as God intended, when that is fractured, when that is broken, like, how can we expect anything but
How can you expect good to
a
come out of
bad
that?
outcome
Right.
from it?
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say, because I know examples personally that, you know for single parent homes where the outcome
It was
for the
good,
kids is good. Yeah.
but I don't mean it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it
Yeah,
was supposed to be
so
that way. Yeah,
right.
like our
Hmm.
father is one,
Right, for sure. Yeah, he
like
didn't.
one
Yeah,
example, and
that's
our
what I like to
mom
use him.
for
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
intensive
right,
purposes.
right. Where mom is for
Yeah.
sure. I forget about
So there's
that piece.
examples. Yeah, where it
Yeah,
works, but that's still not ideal.
right, exactly.
Like in most of those cases, and I wish I had some numbers. Like we might get a little bit to more numbers next week
Right, yeah,
when we talk about black families, boy, something near and dear to me. But I mean, see, there I go again. But when I kind of trail off, I
I
forgot
know
what
what
was
you
I
mean.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Ah, okay, man.
Oh, the single parents. The single parents. It's not ideal.
Right, right. It's
That's
not
right.
idea.
You don't be providing no
No,
help.
cause
Help me remember
because
nothing,
I
man.
be on the train with you, bro. I be
Oh
gone.
man, that's crazy. All right, so so single parent is not
Hmm.
ideal, you know, but the kids can still come out good from it. Now, just because
Right,
that
right,
happens, they
right.
come out good, they come out well, you know, they good citizens. That doesn't necessarily mean it's right. See, that's the danger
You
with that
don't
is, and
need.
it's kind of
Yeah.
off topic. Yeah, it's like yeah, I think you know where I'm going. Like
Hmm.
if you have a single parent household and the kids come out good, they're gonna be like, I came out good, so I don't need
Right.
a spouse.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like they gonna look at themselves, and especially if they successful in doing their thing. Well, shoot, my mom or my dad, my mom or my dad, it was just them, and look at me, so I can do it too.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
the other kind of danger with it that
Hmm.
occurs. But I guess I said all that just to say, it's situations where you have families who are really, they really fall upon hard times, like due to no fault of their own.
Right. Yeah.
Like when jobs start, laying people off because of the Rona thing. Like great
Hmm.
employees doing their thing, going to work every day, not making excuses, paying their bills, all of that, boom, out of work.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
are we so hard line that we will say, well, nah, nope, just pull yourself up. You go out there and start doing, just do something. No, to get it, you don't need the daddy
Hmm.
government. Are we gonna really be that hard line
Yeah,
where
that's crazy, man.
you know
Hmm.
we will go to that extent with it? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
guess my whole point is because the question people probably will ask is then, like, should there even be a such thing as government assistance at all?
Hmm.
You know, and so that would just be my reply would be to that. If people are paying taxes, federal income taxes, they're paying Social Security, you know, um, all these other different kinds of taxes and things.
I
If they,
should get some type of service.
yeah, like if they should be like, but then I done heard all the arguments, man, because then they will say, okay, let's just say they weren't making a lot of money, so they're not having a lot of taxes taken out. The
Hmm.
services they receive from the government benefits is gonna go past what they done paid
Right. I
in
see.
taxes. So you're leeching off the government. You see what I'm saying? Like it's still that'll still be their argument, man.
Hmm.
Or like when you get income tax returns, and they be like, "Well, you didn't pay that much. You didn't pay no taxes, or it outweigh you. What you got back outweighs what you paid."
Right.
All that. It's just it's people out there that think like that.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the question what we were talking about was like the positives of it, I
Right.
guess,
Yeah.
or what's the not negative aspects of it? Maybe if some people would say that.
Right.
What are some of the arguments for it?
Hmm.
And so with that said, what's the reverse of that? What's the opposite of that? Like arguments against it.
Well, I think one of the main arguments against this is that when you create like a welfare state, it creates dependency on the government, and then you incentivize the people to continue to not be self-reliant and depend on the government. You know, because they'll penalize you for you'll lose things because you are self-reliant or whatever. So, um, like I said, it doesn't kind of if you're in that type of system, you may be thinking, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be getting something from the government. I'm not really trying to, better myself." It can kind of make you complacent.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
type of, and then along with other things, as far as the control government, I believe a lot of officials that are elites that are in power, they want you to be dependent upon the government. So for
Hmm.
their own interior motives for voting power, things of that nature, control. Um, so it's a couple different, reasonings.
Yeah, it's right for
Yeah,
fraud, right? When you're dealing with a
yeah,
large
man.
amount of money, you got a large amount of money. It's ripe for fraud. The more
Mm,
dollars, the more of it that can be taken. So if you
right.
got billions of dollars,
Mm,
I'm just throwing this number out. I'm not saying that's what it is. If you got like billions of dollars, you pinch off 500,000, 600,000, a million for yourself. Are you even gonna notice it?
mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the more money involved, the more opportunity for fraud that you have. But I think the biggest that's from I guess even the government standpoint. A lot of people can have their hands in the pot and fudge numbers and fix numbers
Right.
and get
Yeah.
something for themselves off of them.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing of it is the abuse, like you said. But again, from the government's perspective, what can it do? It can create a dependency class.
Right. For sure, man.
It can create a dependency class. And here's the example. You brought this up too.
Mm-hmm.
Every 4 years, right? And two, if you in the house, every 4 years, you got Democrats who come out and what would they say? They would always say, "Hey, what do they say? The Republicans are trying to take your benefits
Right.
away.
They're just for the
They're
rich.
trying to take yeah,
Yeah.
they trying to take all your assistance away. They want to get rid of Social Security
Mm-hmm.
and Medicare, Medicaid. They want to get rid of all your things
Right.
because for so many
That
years,
happens all the time when they
yeah,
come around. Every
every four
Republican, they trying
years,
to do is take this and that. Yeah.
yeah, they'll
So,
say that every 4 years,
mm-hmm.
yeah. Now just think about it too. What you were saying, like if most people, and again, we're not talking about the people who legitimately need assistance for a time,
Right.
but if you just remove all the waste and the fraud that goes on with it, just imagine them trying to run that line on people then.
Mm-hmm.
If you were able to remove, it ain't gonna happen. But if you were just
Right.
able to remove all the fraud and the waste and the people take advantage of it, and you try to run that line against people who don't need the government's hand, how would that go over then?
It wouldn't be as effective.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh,
So, yeah.
okay,
Right. Okay.
y'all not my pops,
Right. Then
y'all not my mama
you
anyway.
actually have to really try to do right by them to
Yeah,
kind of earn the vote how it
yeah.
should be. They should be earning our vote,
You're not
earning
my
our
daddy.
vote,
Yeah, you're not my daddy anyway.
doing what's
So
best for us. Yeah.
you
So,
can't come to me with a line saying, "Hey, they trying to take away all your benefits." You're not my
right.
daddy, man.
For sure.
Okay,
Like we good
if
over
it's
here.
go,
We
it's
don't care
go.
about what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
we straight. You know, I think that's the real ultimate negative, the dependency class it
Oh yeah,
creates,
for sure,
boy.
man. Now this is just me. I do believe you got the elites up there, man. And me and bro, we was talking about this. Uh, they want to create a two classes, rich class and it's not even just rich people, elite. I would just say elites and then poor. If you poor, man, you dependent on that, man. You'll take scraps. And
Hmm.
then at that point it's just a control thing now. Control
Hmm.
power dynamic. In the middle class is like the buffer because the middle class, they still have some type of money, some type of say so, and they keep those guys honest. If you take
Hmm.
that away, then boom, man, you in the world of trouble.
Yeah, Factual, yeah.
So
So dependency class for weight is right for fraud and waste and
yeah.
mismanagement, and it increases spending too.
Oh yeah. Oh
Increased
yeah.
government spending. That
We
national
already
debt,
in that, but we in trouble with that. We already got a debt
38
deficit.
mil
Yeah, I
trillion
forgot how much it is, and they
and
keep
counting,
raising the
boy.
ceiling. All they do is they don't pay it all. They keep we gonna raise it.
That's the part I
So yeah.
don't understand about the raising the ceiling, man. It's just like every 2-3 months, where we about to shut down the government again. I ain't even gonna lie. Like part of me be like, okay, yes, maybe they'll stay shut this time. That's what
Mm-hmm.
part of me was saying. In case you ain't know, I'm tired of all them boys out there. To be completely honest with you, I'm like, well, shoot, maybe they're just gonna stay shut this time. Don't open it up no more, all y'all. But they managed to still get paid though.
Oh man.
You see what I'm saying?
And then the people that work in government jobs, they don't get paid.
Right. They get furloughed. And I think they get back pay though. Somebody
Oh, okay,
correct me in the
okay.
comments. I think when they finally open up, they get back pay.
Uh
Probably
huh.
how long they. Yeah, I think that happened with my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, with the back pay part. So it increases spending. It definitely creates that dependency class. We'll be talking about that more next week when we talk about like almost what you could kind of consider like the second part of the era of the government assistance.
right.
Um, yeah, I think that's the worst part of it to me, honestly. The
Oh
dependency
yeah. Yeah.
class that it creates, um, which discourages people to work if they know that they can just go to you, they can go to the daddy government with a handout, and daddy government gives it to them. Like, where's their incentive to work?
Right.
Where's their incentive to get better?
Mm-hmm.
Like what you just mentioned, to be self sufficient. Like, where's the incentive to do that? If you keep helping me in my delusion, like, why would I change?
Right. Exactly. Yep.
You won't. And I don't know any numbers about how many people are, abusing it. I
Right.
don't know,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
but it would
it's
have
a
to be in
lot.
the
Yeah.
millions.
Yeah. And then that's just the human element, though, bro. It's some people, a lot of people just gonna abuse it. That's just naturally
Well, yeah,
how it works.
yeah. Sadly, that
So
is like the first inclination for a lot of us is to, oh, I can get
even
that for
right, right, right.
what? Give me that.
Even
Give me
if
that.
you gonna do the right thing, I guarantee you it'll come across your brain. You be like, man, if I wasn't a hard worker, but I could do this X, Y, Z.
Yeah, it's like walking
So
down the street. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like walking down the street and you see $100 bill on the ground,
Yeah.
and you just saw the man in front of you drop the $100 bill.
Hmm.
Now you see it, you saw it occur, but you pick it up and you put it in your pocket.
Right. Yeah, I see.
Why you ain't
Yeah.
gonna tell that man he dropped this $100?
Right.
You like, oh, here it is. That's just
Hmm.
kind of how it is sometimes. With people. So those will be, I think, like the arguments for it and against it. As far as the government assistance goes. So
Right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, what you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, somebody might ask, as we always like to say, like the reason why we believe the things that we believe, you know, oh, it. How could I forget to say it? You know how we are. We equal opportunity. What's the word? We equal opportunity. Like we equal opportunity criticizers. What about like? Can we say it like that? We equal opportunity criticizers. Like we talked about how the Democrats roll around every
Right.
4 years,
Hmm.
right? Guess what? The grand old party roll around every 4 years too.
Hmm.
Where they little lines, where they fear tactics and things that they like to do, and how hey, we're gonna cut taxes, we're gonna do all this, that, and the third, and we're gonna cut wasteful spending. Boys get in there and do the
They
same
be spending, going crazy with the
exact
spending.
spending. How
Hey,
the
I ain't gonna
kids
lie.
say spending going
Right, I ain't gonna
crazy,
lie.
boy?
I ain't gonna lie, man. It don't matter what president, Republican, Democrat, alien, they gonna make that debt deficit increase. They gonna spend that money. It don't matter who it is. The money gonna be spent.
Hey,
For real
look,
though. For real though.
that's
That's
fact.
true.
I ain't even gonna lie,
Uh-huh.
boy. Now I don't know. Now if hey, I like this boy, man. If Howard the
Uh-huh.
Duck was president, that boy, you don't even know who Howard the Duck is, do you? Google Howard the Duck. It's a
Ain't that
movie
some?
from the 80s, boy. And he was an alien.
Uh-huh.
He was a duck. His planet. This what it was. Like his planet was talking ducks, but the humans didn't talk or something like that. And then he some kind of way I think he went through like a wormhole or something and came and came to America, boy. And that boy was running around here talking and stuff. Howard the Duck movie.
Oh, I've seen
You
this
see
before. I
Howard the
never,
Duck?
I didn't see it, but I remember
Let me
seeing this.
see. Hold on. Go to
How,
images. That Howard the Duck. There. That's
yeah, I
that boy
seen this
right there,
dude
boy.
before.
That's Howard the
Hey, is
Duck, boy.
this? Why I think he's not? This is just a
That's the
movie.
real. That's the movie. Yeah, that's the movie. Boy, that boy came out
I
here.
don't know
That
what I was
boy,
gonna say. Marv. Oh, I feel
he
like
was
he was in
funny.
some
He
type of.
was. He was like at the
Oh,
end of one of them, because he's a Marvel character.
okay, yeah. How did
But
Duck, man?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he be in. I remember seeing him with the Guardians of the Galaxy
right.
or
Yeah, he
something
was
one
in like a
time.
cave. Wasn't he smoking and drinking or
Yeah, it was
something,
something
boy?
going on. Howard the Duck.
That
Yeah,
boy,
I
he's
know.
a very worldly guy, boy. But if he became president, I
I'm gonna have
might
to
vote for
watch it.
that boy right there, boy. I ain't even
I'm gonna
gonna
have to
lie
check
to you.
Howard. That's a movie, 1986.
Yeah, I might have to vote for that boy
Sh-
right there, Howard the Duck, boy. That boy, he was a fighter.
Shout out Howard the Duck,
Shout out to
man.
Howard the
Sound like I
Duck,
can rock with
boy.
the guy, man.
Yeah, I
So
like that boy Howard the Duck, boy.
yeah.
But so like we were saying, yeah, every 4 years, both of these parties come around, man,
hmm
and promise the same kind of thing that they platform promises. The Democrats like to say, hey, them people trying to take all y'all stuff, and hey, we gonna take care of you. Daddy government go take care of you. We got this here for you. We got that for you. Get in there, boys, don't do nothing.
Right.
And the GOP, the grand old party, get up in there, but we go cut wasteful spending. We gonna stop all these senseless wars. We gonna do all this, that, and the third. Them boys get up, and them boys is status quo, but they do the same thing. But them boys just a bunch of suits.
Right.
Telling y'all, man, it's just maybe a couple of them up there. And I'm talking federally. It's a couple of them up there. It might be like real people.
Right.
I don't know, man. That's just my thoughts on it. It might
No,
just
I
be a
agree.
couple up there, yeah, but they go through the
Yeah.
same thing every 4 years. Everybody just so they really got their own dependence too, kind of in a way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we say that before. We need like a third party.
Yeah, we did. I think was that the last
I
episode we
don't know
talked
one
about?
of them, but I don't know what we could call it though. We said it would never work, but it's just
Yeah,
fun.
I don't
Sometimes it's
believe,
fun to
man.
think.
It ain't never gonna work, man.
It's fun to
We
think
too deep
sometimes.
in, man. Too deep in.
Yeah, we need to think about a name. No, man, I don't know. But anyway,
They're gonna try to kill you if you try to make something that's gonna move.
shoot, boy.
If it
They gonna try to
start garnering attention.
unalive,
Oh my fault.
unalive. Yeah,
Unalive my
unalive, man. Yeah, that's
damn,
what they
I
gonna
keep
try to
saying.
do. That boy just be going, boy be forgetting,
Mm-hmm.
man. But now back to what we saying. We about to put a bow on this part one because part two, I told you part two, we gonna get a little bit more
In depth.
into the weeds with the effects of certain benefits predominantly on a certain demographic. Okay.
Right.
This one right here, I'd be like for real upset and bewildered about this one right here. This like, I don't like this. We're gonna talk about it though. So like, why do we think we think? We always like to say like we believe how
Right.
we
Yeah.
believe because of our Christian perspective. So why do you feel like you feel about it?
Um.
What we discussed so far.
Right. Now I do believe you should strive to be self reliant. But at the same time, you do. The Bible does has themes in the Bible. The poor will always be with you and help them.
Thanks.
But at the same time, it's a balance. It's a balance thing. At the same time, the Bible speaks about stewardship, be responsible. And just producing that type of fruit, and then you get something good out of it, just working. Um, so you see those two uh, things, but they come together, and you just balance it out.
Hmm.
So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I'm right there with you too on that. Yeah, the poor would always be with you. That's
hmm
exactly what popped up in my head when I asked you that passage. The poor will always be with you, and then the multiple, numerous Old Testament passages too about the poor,
Right, man.
and
Proverbs, but they
even
talk
the New
about the
Testament.
sluggard and all that,
Yeah,
man. Like, yeah,
talk about the
man.
sluggard. So
For sure, yeah.
man don't work, man don't eat. So it's
Right, yeah, I
definitely
forgot.
both.
Yeah,
You
that
see
one.
both where
Uh
like
huh.
people need to make every effort to be sustainable,
Right.
self-sustainable. Um, and not be, not look to be taken care of by others.
hmm
But at the same time, the reality is, it's going to be situations where you have the type of people among you who will won't be able to help themselves for have a amount of time. Like you think about disabled people who can't do a lot,
Hmm.
or people who just get injured and just can't do something, or a woman gets abandoned.
Right.
All kinds of different little things where it makes your mind think like, what? How do I need to think about this as a Christian?
Hmm.
How's my thinking going to line up with Scripture?
Right.
As it comes to
Yep.
the subject of government assistance, like the actual active assistance. Now, I will say that it should be primarily on the family to help others in their family who
Yeah, man.
need issues or need
Right.
some assistance, or
That's a great point.
whether
Yeah.
temporary or even a little bit more long term. So
Right. For sure. Yep.
you good? Yeah, I
Group
hope that kind
economics,
of
man. Yeah, I really do
yeah.
like that last point you said. For
I
sure.
kind of hope that kind of
Yeah.
gets you interested to come back and check next week when we talk about like really what's the second half of the whole um system of benefits when LBJ came in and kind of put his as an attachment to what Franklin Delano Roosevelt brought in. So we'll talk a little bit about that whole Great Society legislation that Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law and all of the things that did. And I'm telling you, gonna want to really come in and listen to that one because that right there, we got some real strong feelings on that, boy.
Hmm.
Man, listen, man. That boy LBJ, not a good guy.
Right. Not
Not a good
not
person.
LeBron, even though he
Yeah,
trash, but yeah.
LeBron, yeah. LeBron trash?
I'm just playing. He not right now. He is kind of washed, but yeah.
You know what? Hey, LeBron, if you're watching this, one thing I gotta say about you, boy, I got Mike number one, so that's off top. Don't get it twisted. But I do like the fact,
Clutch Van, boy, you gonna see them Clutch Vans come out.
yeah. The who?
Clutch Vans, because that's what we signed with.
He
Chris
signed with
Paul.
the Vans.
No. Chris Paul. I mean, not what's the dude name? I forgot his name. The dude that's his like agent or manager or something.
Oh,
And it Clutch Sports or something like that.
yeah, Rich
And
Paul, yeah.
Rich Paul, and they be saying, you say something LeBron, the Clutch Vans, black Vans pull up. And every
Oh
time something
man.
bad might happen to LeBron to get stuff wiped out.
Man. Ain't nobody worried about that,
PR
man.
team, boy.
I still got Mike number one, man. Boy, I grew up on Mike, man. Mike, that's my
Hmm.
number one right there, boy. But like I was saying, like one thing I do appreciate about that guy, LeBron, though,
Hmm.
is the fact that, and I don't know him personally, of course, but you know, he married his high school sweetheart.
Right.
All his kids are from her,
Uh-huh.
and he's in his
Right.
kids' lives.
And
So
he ain't never had no scandal, never got in trouble or whatnot. We all, we done things, but he ain't, and he been on the spotlight since he was like 16, 15.
yeah, literally, like
Ain't nothing
15,
heard, nothing
16, yeah.
bad. That's impressive, man. So
We ain't saying, we like he just said, we know things happen, stuff might get swept under the rug, or might be some NDA signed. Like we don't know. We just saying from
right.
what we see.
Yeah, I'm just saying, hey, all
What
right.
we see. So don't get it
Disclaimer.
twisted. Yeah. So that
So
man, he and his boys like now that's without a fact, you know. Each of his sons and his daughter, he's with her, doing his thing as a dad's supposed to do. And I can
uh-huh.
always appreciate that because I'm a dad myself.
Right, yeah.
But so next week, yeah, man, we're gonna talk about that boy LBJ a little bit, what he did, how he was not a nice guy, what his real feelings was, you know, other than what he portrayed to the public eye, to the public
Hmm.
persona. So we hope y'all enjoyed that part one today. That's gonna be part two tomorrow. Lock in with us, stay tuned with us. Make
Part two
sure,
next Saturday. You
yeah,
said
what up?
tomorrow. You said
Oh, my
part two
bad. Next week. Yeah, thank you.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be next week. I mean, dang. It ain't gonna be
Wait.
tomorrow. It's gonna
Uh-huh.
be next week. Yeah, because I'm about to get you confused too, boy. Yeah, it's gonna be next week, part
Uh-huh.
two. We're gonna talk about LBJ and all that war on poverty and all that Great Society stuff that he signed, all that stuff in there. And just did some things that shouldn't have did, y'all. And we're gonna talk about it. So like and subscribe to the podcast. And I forgot to mention earlier, if you have any kind of email inquiry, send it to us. Rockin' Chair Chronicles 904 at gmail.com.
Rockin' Chair Chronicles 904 at gmail.com.
Send us your
Right.
emails, man.
And we'll take it into consideration. That's what we say, right?
Consideration.
Okay.
That's it. We got it.
Cool.
We
Yes,
find
sir.
it. We like on a
Yeah.
3-week streak. So
Let's
send it
get
to
it.
us, man. If you got any kind of suggestions, comments, anything. Get in the comments and let us know what you thought about the episode. Also, we'll see y'all next time on Rocking Chair Chronicles. We out. We love y'all. Mwah. Goodbye.